Another bombshell has recently struck the hip-hop and love scene, and this time it comes directly from Spice and Scrappy, two unexpected persons. Following the emergence of reports suggesting that Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage may not be as picture-perfect as it appears, fans are going crazy. The rumors started out mildly, but after a furious altercation between Spice, Scrappy, and Mendeecees allegedly occurred on set, things went completely out of control. The internet is reportedly unable to stop talking after Spice forced a truth out of the Mendeecees that left everyone in the room stunned. It began with a jovial group scene. But when Spice allegedly brought up things that don't add up in the relationship between Yandy and Mendeecees, things took a turn for the worst. Never one to be silent, Scrappy added his own remarks that caused the tension to rise. Mendeecees made an effort to remain composed, according to witnesses, but his expression revealed that something was up. Yandy, who wasn't even there when the altercation took place, is now in the middle of a tempest that she didn't anticipate. Everyone is wondering the same thing. What specifically did Mendeecees confess to? Furthermore, why did Scrappy and Spice feel the need to intervene and force him to confront the reality? Social media is ablaze, followers are demanding answers, and the hip-hop and love communities are split once more. Hold on tight, for this narrative is going to turn out in unexpected ways. Like most reality TV storms, the turmoil began subtly, with rumors circulating through internet fan pages and group chats before any of the cast members even spoke. The tension was immediately noticed by followers, who tagged Mendeecees and Yandy in comments and demanded to know what Spice meant when she posted the cryptic remark, "Truth always finds a way out no matter how deep you bury it," on her account. When Scrappy posted a video of himself saying, "Some of these couples be acting perfect for the cameras, but we know the truth." Speculation quickly shifted from what most people initially thought was just another ambiguous post about music industry drama. The timing of both posts was too suspicious to ignore, and before the night was over, blogs were already making headlines about potential problems between Yandy and Mendeecees. Everything culminated during a group filming session for the upcoming season. According to those close to the production, everyone got together for a laid-back cast supper on what was intended to be a nice and relaxing day. For a little moment, it appeared as though everything was truly calm, with cameras rolling and laughter resonating across the scene. That is, until Spice, who never keeps quiet, chooses to mention a recent allegation she said she heard in Atlanta. The table became silent as soon as she began. "Since everyone's being real tonight, let's talk about these little secrets that ain't so secret no more." Mendeecees, who had been seated next to Scrappy in a composed manner, shifted uneasily, obviously taken by surprise. The fireworks started when Scrappy gave a glance that made it obvious he knew what was going to happen. Spice didn't think twice. She began to ask pointed questions about loyalty, travel, and text messages. With a tone that might have pierced through the atmosphere, she remarked, "I heard somebody been talking to someone they shouldn't be talking to." Mendeecees made an effort to divert attention by stating, "You always hear something, Spice. People enjoy talking." But she wasn't going to back down. "No," she answered, leaning forward. This was from someone close. The tension in the room was high. "You and Yandy have been selling goals to everyone, but rumors have it that your marriage has been trembling for a minute." Scrappy glanced at Mendeecees and Spice, obviously unsure whether to join in or remain silent. Scrappy finally said something. "Everything changed when I said, 'Bro, you know I respect you, but I saw some things in Puerto Rico that didn't sit right with me.'" When everyone turned to look at Scrappy, Mendeecees' composed exterior suddenly broke. "What exactly are you discussing?" He shot back, raising his voice a little. Scrappy did not retreat. Producers abruptly intervened to defuse the situation, but it was too late. "I'm talking about that night when you said you were heading back to the villa but ended up somewhere else." The dispute was already out of control. According to insiders, Mendeecees was enraged off camera. After filming, he went up to Scrappy and demanded to know why he was spreading rumors. A witness claims that Scrappy informed him, "It ain't rumors if it's real." Spice then added fuel to the fire by posting a meme online. about men who act innocent but can't handle the truth. Although she never said his name, the silence from Yandy's end spoke volumes as admirers bombarded her comments, asking if she was referring to Mendeecees. Known for being outspoken and open, Yandy went days without posting anything. Nothing. Not a response, not a quote. Fans started to worry that there was a severe problem. It didn't help that Mendeecees was seen at a party in Atlanta appearing at ease and smiling for pictures while the internet tore away his reputation. People began tagging her beneath old posts with comments like, "Blink twice if you're okay," and "Don't let them play with your name. He looks way too calm for someone whose marriage is on fire," one fan wrote. The narrative then took yet another unexpected turn. Internet users began sharing audio that had been leaked from the set. It caught a heated exchange between Mendeecees and Spice after the cameras allegedly stopped recording. Spice was heard stating in the video, "So you're just going sit there and act nothing happened?" After what I witnessed, fans examined the video from every side, debating if it was real or edited, and Mendeecees said, "You think you know everything, but you don't know my life." While some insisted it was authentic, others believed it was staged for media attention. In any case, it rekindled the flames. Another piece of the puzzle emerged about the same time. On a gossip page, a behind-the-scenes aide reportedly said that Spice had approached Mendeecees after seeing messages between him and a close friend of the program. Fans were devastated by the post's admission that it wasn't cheating exactly, but it was emotional enough to cross boundaries. If accurate, that would account for Yandy's silence and Spice's rage. Blogs started utilizing headings such as "an emotional affair," as well as "the truth finally coming out." The hip-hop and love fandom divided into two factions as a result of everything that transpired. Mendeecees were defended by one side, which claimed that Spice and Scrappy were making things more dramatic. Mendeecees' silence and body language, according to the opposing side, were evidence of guilt. Trending hashtags were "Ton Team Yandy" and "Ton Truth Bomb from Spice." Even without her uttering a single word, the timelines were dominated by her name. However, the response from other cast members further intensified the situation. Fans instantly took Erica Mina's simple eye emoji comment under a gossip piece as indication that she was aware of something. In a video, Mama D, who never stays silent, remarked, "People love to play perfect till the truth hit the light." Her statement pushed everyone into overdrive, making connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. According to insiders close to the pair, Mendeecees and Yandy got into a furious dispute the night the scene was shot. She felt betrayed, not because of the messages, but because of the way it made her look, according to one insider. She has established a great reputation for herself, and now she is being pulled into a complicated situation. Mendeecees attempted to appear unconcerned despite the pandemonium. He posted a picture of himself meditating along with a message about protecting your peace. Fans weren't impressed. "Protecting your peace after breaking someone else's?" was one reply. All right, but what nobody anticipated was that Spice and Scrappy weren't finished. They reportedly believed that Mendeecees was still avoiding responsibility, so they brought it up once more a week later at a group gathering. According to witnesses, Spice looked Mendeecees in the eyes and asked, "You gonna tell her, or should I?" Producers reportedly pleaded with them not to stir things up. But Spice allegedly responded, "The truth don't need timing. It needs courage." Everyone was in a state of shock when that moment was partially captured on camera. With a look of frustration, Mendeecees got up and left without a word. Online viewers of the released videos were split. Others praised Spice for keeping it real, while others felt she went too far by discussing personal issues in public. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Spice said what everyone's been thinking, that relationship has been too polished for too long." Another wrote, "You can't claim to be goals if your house ain't in order." If your house ain't in order. The fact that Scrappy fully supported Spice was what further exacerbated the pandemonium. In an excerpt from an interview that went viral, he stated, "You have to hold your brothers accountable sometimes." Fans applauded his audacity, but some claimed he was merely doing it to remain relevant in the plots. We all out here in the same circle, but that doesn't mean we can't call each other out. However, it made little difference because the harm had already been done. By this point, the matter had escalated from a dispute or a rumor to a full-fledged scandal. Fans of Yandy started requesting a statement. Videos examining every aspect, including Spice's intentions, Scrappy's involvement, and Mendeecees' body language, were posted by gossip vloggers. While some thought this was genuine stress leaking into the public eye, others said it was a prelude to the show's most dramatic plot yet. In any case, there was a lot of conversation, which is precisely how the hip-hop and love communities prefer it. The mayhem didn't go away. On the contrary, it simply got louder. What began as a heated dinner scene quickly descended into a full-scale social media battle. The drama had officially slipped from the show and into real life, with blogs updating hourly and fan pages analyzing every single post. Spice, who has never shied away from voicing her opinions, intensified her remarks by sharing a live video in which she declared, "I don't cover up lies, and I don't do fake energy." The phrase, "If you say you're real, then act real," was enough to send followers into a tailspin. In a matter of minutes, thousands of people joined the live stream, leaving comments flooded with queries such as, "Is this about Yandy and Mendeecees?" Spice didn't identify anyone, but her facial gestures made it clear that she was saying, "Girl, spill the tea." When she said, "Some people love to smile for the cameras but can't even look their partner in the eye," she was looking directly into the camera. Fans immediately clipped the video and started sharing it online, believing it to be a direct jab at Mendeecees. Yandy was unable to be found while Spice was becoming viral. She hadn't made any public appearances, posted anything, or left any comments. Her business page was silent as well. People interpreted the ambiguous statement, "Silence is also an answer," posted on a fan page as proof that she was distressed and attempting to make sense of everything. "You can tell she's protecting her peace," a fan wrote in a remark. Another person remarked, "No, this silence indicates that she is done with him. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation." Mendeecees, however, made an effort to keep his composure. It flopped almost immediately after he shared a selfie with the remark, "Truth always wins." He was criticized by followers for playing victim and acting innocent. One fan even tweeted, "Truth prevails, huh? Then let the Spice do the talking." The tension was evident everywhere, and people sensed that this was genuine emotion leaking out rather than just reality television. It was said to be worse behind the scenes. A crew member claims that while filming, Mendeecees and Yandy had an emotional altercation that was never shown. According to the source, it was disappointment, not yelling. According to the same source, Yandy broke down in tears and left the set, stating that she didn't want to be shot in that situation. She looked at him like she didn't even recognize him anymore. She claimed she wanted space and resisted when production attempted to bring her back. Meanwhile, Scrappy returned to the scene. He broadcast live from his vehicle, discussing brotherhood and loyalty. "Even when it hurts, sometimes you have to be honest," he remarked. Even though he didn't mention names, everyone understood what he meant when he said, "If you call yourself my brother, don't put me in a position where I gotta choose between truth and silence." "He's definitely talking about Mendeecees," fans wrote in the comments section. Spice's appearance midway through the live stream, laughing and saying, "Say it with your chest," proved everything. The blogs were burning. Some began publishing alleged inside information, alleging that Spice had provided producers with text messages demonstrating that Mendeecees was communicating with a lady who was not his spouse. The story had taken on a life of its own, regardless of whether the documents were authentic or not. The headline, "Spice confronts Mendeecees with receipts during filming, Yandy devastated," went viral, and fans started uploading old videos of Yandy discussing loyalty, which made the whole scenario seem even more dire. Even other reality stars began to comment at this point. Everyone was getting involved, and the love and hip-hop community felt like it was about to collapse. Carly Red replied beneath a gossip post, writing, "Truth always comes to light, baby." Mimi Faust reposted a meme that said, When they play with your peace, let the truth expose their lies. According to reports, Yandy suffered a severe emotional toll. She's embarrassed, one insider claimed, not only by the gossip, but also by the level of publicity it received. The same insider asserted that she had been attempting to tune out the chatter by spending time with her children and avoiding her phone, saying she built her brand around love, family, and strength, and now people are questioning everything. However, Mendeecees didn't remain silent for very long. He was questioned explicitly about the matter on a radio broadcast a few days later. "People love to assume," he added, rather than categorically rejecting it. That evasive reaction just made matters worse. "I can't stop folks from making stories out of thin air." Supporters thought he was evading responsibility once more. Comments such as, "That's not a denial," and "He's too calm for someone falsely accused," were common beneath the interview video. Spice, who never lets things go, shared another picture online, this time of herself and Scrappy laughing together, with the comment, "Real recognize real." The internet went crazy. Supporters claimed it was an obvious barb at Yandy and Mendeecees. While one fan noted, "They just turned the whole show into a battlefield," another said, "Spice and Scrappy really tag-teaming this truth mission." Then the surprising turn of events occurred. Spice had reportedly been holding on to this knowledge for weeks while deciding whether or not to disclose it on camera, according to an anonymous story. It is said that she didn't speak up until she witnessed Mendeecees' attempts to play perfect while filming. Spice wasn't the cause of the drama, the account stated. Fans immediately believed it, which sparked yet another round of reactions. She simply refused to continue lying for him. Producers apparently attempted to defuse the situation backstage. In order to clarify the air, they contacted Yandy and asked if she would like to sit down or record a statement. She declined, adding, "I'm not performing my pain for ratings." Her denial only increased her admirers' affection for her, who referred to her as the definition of grace under pressure. However, it also left everyone wondering, if she wasn't discounting the allegations, did that indicate there was some truth to them? Feeling trapped, Mendeecees took another action. The comment section immediately split when he shared a photo of himself with his wedding ring exposed and said, "Forever ain't supposed to be perfect." While some accused him of manipulating others commended him for attempting to keep his marriage intact. "That's the type of caption people post when they get caught," one admirer commented, while another remarked, "This man is playing PR games while his wife goes missing." When a clip from an unaired episode appeared online, showcasing Spice and Yandy finally meeting in person after weeks of tension, things reached a new level. "Sis, I didn't do this to hurt you," Spice remarked coolly. In response, a very upset Yandy said, "I did it because you deserve the truth." The brief video went viral, receiving millions of views in a single day. Comments like, "This is deeper than TV," and "You can see the pain in Yandy's eyes," were posted by admirers in droves, and Scrappy stirred things up once more just when everyone thought the dust may finally settle. "It's crazy how people will call you fake when you're just being honest," he stated during a podcast interview. The host chuckled, but fans understood precisely who he was referring to. It became evident that this was a persistent rift that would not be resolved anytime soon, rather than a one-time encounter. One thing was clear despite all the commotion. The biggest voice in the room was Yandy's quiet. She remained silent as everyone else posted, debated, and chatted. And the issue became much more potent as a result of that silence. Even with the sympathy, fans continued to pursue the same question. What actually transpired between her and Mendeecees, and how much of what Spice and Scrappy stated was true? Fans started writing lengthy threads dissecting her emotional strength, claiming she was taking it like a queen. The conflict between Mendeecees and Yandy has now taken center stage in every online fan discussion, blog, and rumor post. What began as a few mysterious messages had grown into a full-fledged storm that was beyond anyone's control. The hip-hop and love cameras had ceased shooting weeks earlier, but the drama was leaking into real life, unscripted and unfiltered, and it didn't care about the filming schedule. Eventually, one peaceful evening, Yandy spoke up. She uploaded a brief video of herself sitting on her couch, her face composed but her eyes heavy, in place of a lengthy explanation or impassioned tirade. "People will say anything to see you fall," she whispered quietly. "However, I think the truth doesn't need to be defended." Her voice faltered a bit at the end, and that was enough to send the internet into overdrive. The video was reposted worldwide in a matter of minutes. Thousands of encouraging remarks, such as, "We see your pain," "Stay strong, queen," and "You don't owe anyone your story," were left in her comments by admirers. However, the silence was short-lived. Spice went live again a few hours after Yandy's video went viral, and she wasn't holding back this time. "I didn't go on TV to destroy nobody's marriage, but I also won't protect no lies," she stated, staring directly into the camera with obvious emotion. Her tone this time was dissatisfied rather than angry, which made it much more impactful. People need to stop acting like victims when they have been hiding truth from their own fans. The comment section went crazy. One fan said, "This is definitely about Yandy." Another stated, "She's sick of phony plots. Spice wouldn't say that unless she had evidence. She's calling everyone out." The mood on the internet changed once more, and supporters were split, with half supporting Spice and half supporting Yandy. In the meantime, everyone immediately connected Scrappy's post, which simply stated, "Truth don't need friends. It just needs time," to the issue, adding gasoline to the flames. The situation became even more chaotic when Kirk Frost added a thinking emoji to his response. Fans responded to the article in droves, asking things like, "So you all knew?" as well as "This entire cast is messy." Production was apparently suffering as a result of the circumstances behind the scenes. "It's the most tension we've ever seen between cast members," one insider stated. Spice reportedly refused to film some sequences with Mendeecees because she didn't want to be gaslit on camera, according to some crew members. Others stated that Yandy was avoiding everyone but her stylist and a close friend. In a startling turn of events, there were speculations that Mendeecees had ceased wearing his wedding band. When he shared a gym selfie sans it, fans were the first to notice. Within minutes, the image went viral with comments like, "Ring gone? Truth revealed?" Mendeecees later removed the post, but the harm was done. The internet had seen enough. I guess silence speaks louder than loyalty. A mystery Instagram story surfaced on a page that many thought belonged to one of Spice's friends the same week. A hazy screen grab of what appeared to be a message from Mendeecees was displayed, with the words, "Don't tell Yandy," partially legible. Fans required the screenshot to rekindle the flames, even though its validity could not be confirmed. They started assembling chronologies, contrasting captions, and making educated guesses about the intended recipient. Despite not publicly responding, Yandy's absence was quite telling. Her closest pals appeared to be concerned as well. "She's been quiet because she's processing," one source told a site. "This shouldn't have progressed this far. She never imagined that her marriage would become a source of public amusement." Spice remained steadfast as the internet examined every aspect. She responded to the mounting criticism from Yandy's followers in a different live session. She declared, "I don't hate that woman. I genuinely admire her." Her remarks had a peculiar power. They were not combative, yet they were laden with conviction. But respect doesn't mean I'll stay quiet when wrong is being done. She seemed to want to be heard as opposed to only seen. In another podcast interview, Scrappy added, "Everyone loves to act perfect for the camera." However, edits don't matter in real life. The hosts attempted to change the topic, but Scrappy redoubled his efforts by asserting that it's not even about marriage, it's about loyalty. If you lie, the truth will find you. Don't preach what you don't practice. That video went viral on social media. Finally, during a live of his own, Mendeecees spoke up, cornered by mounting pressure. "I'm not explaining myself to people who want to see me fail," he replied calmly while sitting in his car. He took a minute to say, "I know who I am, and I know what my marriage means to me." Some admirers applauded him for maintaining his composure, but others thought it sounded more like deflection than honesty. "Some people love to twist stories for attention," he added. People commented that this ain't adding up, and he's too calm for someone being accused of lying. A further footage from a deleted scene appeared a few days later, this time revealing Spice and Scrappy having a private conversation in the studio. Fans kept playing the video over and over again, dissecting every word and facial expression. Spice remarked, "I didn't want to do this." But Mendeecees brought it on himself. Scrappy nodded and said, "Yeah, he played the wrong game." They believed it to be proof that a genuine incident had occurred off camera. And just when it seemed like the story could grow any more dramatic, there was a new rumor that said that Yandy had moved out of the house she shared with Mendeecees. Late one night, neighbors reportedly reported seeing moving trucks outside the house. With blog headlines like, "Mendeecees left alone after secret exposed," and "Yandy walks out after betrayal," the tale went viral. The story had already been written in the court of public opinion, even though nothing was verified. Fans took sides, hashtags became popular, and everyone was curious about how long the marriage would last. Spice shared another mysterious post that said, "Some days went by, yet the quiet simply made things heavier rather than bring any peace." Fans were glued to their televisions, searching for any indication that Mendeecees or Yandy were still alive. Something was obviously going on behind the scenes, and everyone wanted to know what it was. Blogs were updating hourly, influencers were dissecting timelines, and even reality TV insiders were tweeting cryptic phrases like, "Trust me, this story is far from over." The internet then woke up to anarchy one morning. Spice, Scrappy, and Mendeecees were seated around a table in what appeared to be a heated argument in a video clip that surfaced online from what appeared to be a private sit-down shoot. Spice's face made it clear that she wasn't trying to be kind. "You've been lying for too long, and you think no one sees through it," she stated, leaning forward on the video. Mendeecees remained silent, his jaw clenched, his eyes focused on the table. "You keep talking about loyalty, but loyalty doesn't hide in silence." "Bro, you have to stop playing the victim when you're the one with the knife," added Scrappy. Even though the video ended there, it was enough to cause a social media frenzy. Fans were shocked to see that the encounter they had been anticipating was finally happening. One person wrote, "This is bigger than reality TV." Another person said, "You can tell Spice was done protecting him," saying, "These emotions are raw. This is profound." A short while later, more video was uploaded, this time revealing Yandy walking into the same room with a composed expression, but a powerful presence. When she took a seat across from Mendeecees, everyone fell silent. "I stood up for you when no one else did," she replied quietly, glancing at him. "I abandoned friends in order to preserve your reputation. And now, I just want to know what the reality is." In the clip, you could hear a pin drop. Mendeecees massaged his face, groaned, and remarked, "You understand how this world functions. They twist everything." However, with a shaky voice, Yandy interrupted, saying, "They didn't twist your messages, Mendy," she said. "They didn't make you hide things from me." Her tone was so harsh that it chilled everyone in the room. Spice looked down, and not even Scrappy spoke. The video ended abruptly because of the terrible stress. Nothing in the franchise's history went viral as quickly as that clip. Every significant entertainment media covered it in a matter of hours. The world had witnessed everything, and there was no turning back. The headlines read, "Yandy confronts Mendeecees in leaked footage, Spice forces truth on camera," and "Love and hip-hop's most emotional showdown yet." According to sources, after the altercation, Yandy left right away. According to insiders, the emotional aftermath caused the production to halt filming for days. "You could feel her pain," one crew member remarked. Another said, "Mendeecees looked lost, like he didn't expect her to face him like that." It wasn't acting. She meant every word. She meant every word. Celebrities started to weigh in outside the performance. Even Erica Mena reposted a video of Yandy's altercation with the caption, "That's what accountability looks like." Fans saw that Spice liked the post, which fueled the flames even more. Tammy Rivera commented under a gossip page post saying, "You can't play with people's hearts and expect loyalty forever." In an interview, Mendeecees attempted to defend himself by asserting that people are running with half a story. His statements didn't have the effect he had planned for, even though they are amusing, but they are destroying real lives in the process. It seemed like too little, too late damage control to the audience. "We already saw the footage, and you can't edit the truth," were among the many comments that poured in. Conversely, Yandy stayed out of the way. She didn't reply, post, or go live, but then she suddenly shared a straightforward black and white picture of herself by the sea. That picture became one of her most liked images ever, with the message, "Sometimes silence is the loudest response." "You deserve peace. This is growth, and queen energy only," were among the supportive and affectionate remarks left by followers. After then, there was an unexpected turn of events. Spice and Yandy were seen together at a private charity function in Atlanta. Two women sat together and spoke softly. There were no cameras or shows. People were surprised when pictures appeared online. Headlines like "Yandy and Spice reconcile" appeared on blogs right away, and from rivalry to sisterhood. The surprising turn of events that fans didn't anticipate. Reporters were informed by an eyewitness that they talked for a long time. There were both laughter and tears. The moment went viral, and fans began applauding both women for displaying maturity in spite of everything that had happened. It appeared as though the two were finally moving on from their past. Soon afterward, Scrappy shared a statement on social media that read, "Real ones talk it out, not tear it down." Fans took this as his way of reaffirming that peace had finally been reached. Some said it was his attempt to regain public sympathy, while others saw it as a sincere attempt to move on. Mendeecees even reposted a motivational phrase that read, "Forgiveness doesn't erase pain, but it opens the door to healing." The internet wasn't done talking, even if it seemed like the dust was starting to settle. Days passed during which people argued over who was correct, who was incorrect, and whether Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage would ever fully recover. Some believed the altercation demonstrated a woman taking back her voice, while others claimed it demonstrated the brittleness of trust that arises when personal life and celebrity collide. Fans observed a change in the ensuing weeks as Yandy started sharing updates on her new endeavors, collaborations, and personal development. "Chapter closed," one post said. "Lessons learned." Spice also appeared more upbeat, releasing new songs that fans thought made subtle allusions to the drama. One line that quickly became a fan favorite was, "Truth got heavy, but I wore it proud." Rumors circulated among the hip-hop and love communities that producers were negotiating a reunion special that would focus on the incident. Fans swamped comment sections with statements like, "We need closure," "Bring them all back together," and "We deserve the full story," claiming that it might be the most emotional reunion in franchise history, according to insiders. Mendeecees stayed largely silent but kept attending public events by herself. When admirers inquired about Yandy, they would sometimes respond with the ambiguous but hopeful statement, "She's good, we all good." Even still, there was a sense of separation, a silent acknowledgement that some things might never be the same again. The craziness subsided as the weeks stretched into months, but the story's impact was permanent. It became a lesson about devotion, honesty, and what happens when love meets the spotlight. And it was no longer just about a marriage or a reality TV controversy. The fans felt as though they had watched a raw fragment of genuine emotion play out in front of their eyes as they followed every turn. Despite the fact that nobody could predict with certainty what the future contained for Mendeecees and Yandy, one thing was certain. Everyone involved had undergone permanent transformation. The story would never truly finish in the minds of spectators, even if the cameras stopped shooting. The network connection was lost. Trying to get back in touch one thing is evident now, after everything that has transpired, including the conflict, the emotional outbursts, the tension, and the startling revelations. Fans remain split. Some people hope that Mendeecees and Yandy will eventually reunite, while others say that the harm is too great to be repaired. The involvement of Spice and Scrappy only served to deepen the pandemonium, leaving everyone perplexed as to what is genuine and what is merely reality TV magic. The feelings we witnessed were intense, unfiltered, and terribly real. They weren't staged. And regardless of whether you're a supporter of Mendeecees, Team Yandy, or have been observing this storm from the sidelines, there's no denying that this narrative has permanently altered the hip-hop and love landscape. However, what follows? Is this the end of one of the most famous couples on reality TV? Or will Yandy forgive Mendeecees and start over? When the cameras start shooting again, will Spice still support her pal? Or will tensions rise again? And most all, will the truth that everyone has been searching for finally surface? The suspense is unbelievable, and fans are left with more questions than answers. We would now like to know what you believe actually transpired behind the scenes. Was Spice correct to confront Mendeecees on TV, or was he misunderstood? Do you believe that Yandy's silence indicates that she is done for good, or is she preparing a strong resurgence that will fundamentally change the course of events? Your ideas are what keep the conversation going. So please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And in order to ensure that you don't miss the next development in this ongoing drama, please hit the like button, subscribe for more exciting updates, and turn on the notification bell if you've been as captivated by this story as we have. Because believe us, the truth is never as straightforward as it seems in the worlds of hip-hop and love, and the next revelation could be just around the corner. This narrative is far from over, so stay tuned.